Good morning and welcome to the Anne Arundel County Delegation meeting and happy Groundhog Day. I'm Delegate Heather Bagnall, Chair of the delegation with Vice Chair Delegate Dana Jones. Before we conduct further introductions, I would ask everyone to welcome Delegate Brian Chisholm from District 31, who will be offering our pledge and our prayer today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I can ask everybody to just bow their heads. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us all here peacefully together once again to work and do your will, not ours. Help us to keep your love in the forefront of our minds, hearts, and in our actions as we seek to empower those we serve with the love, peace, and compassion that you have for all of us and all of mankind. I ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Delegate. I also want to welcome our senators, Senator Dawn Guile from District 33, Senator Pam Beidel from District 32, Senator Brian Simonaire from District 31, Senator Sarah Elfreth from District 30, Senator Jim Rosapep from District 21, and Senator Clarence Lamb from District 12. I also want to recognize our counsel, Matt Carpenter, our delegation secretary, Roger Massey, my chief of staff, Rory Nolan, and Josh Paper, chief of staff to Vice Chair Jones, who are providing our technical support for the meeting. As a reminder, all delegation meetings will be on Zoom due to space constraints. Now, for those who are watching our floor session yesterday, we ended up with a bit of a schedule clash. So we will be holding our vote session on the delegation bills next week so that our full delegation can be with us. I do want to welcome some of our guests who are watching the live stream. We have the Anne Arundel County chapter of the AARP, Virginia Crespo from the Maryland Retired Teachers Association, Hannah Dyer and Ethan Hunt from the County Executive Stuart Pittman's office, Jessica Cook from the office of Senator Cardin, Jessica Clayton from the office of Senator Van Hollen. Oh, did we have? Oh. Sorry, Jessica Clayton from the office of Senator Van Hollen, Alderwoman Rhonda Pindell Charles, representing Ward 3 in the city of Annapolis. And of course, with us today are Bridget Smith and Kelly Mora from the office of our first guest today, Congressman John Sarbanes, who will be joining us a bit later in our meeting. We are going to actually start with our two bill hearings today. So we're going to start with House Bill 541. This is the Anne Arundel County Student Loan Assistance Repayment Program for Educators established. Delegate Henson, if you would like to introduce the bill and if you have a panel.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to introduce this bill. I get the privilege of working with our esteemed senator from District 33 on this. This is a bill that's cross-filed in the Senate and would give relief for teachers, in Anne Arundel County for student loan repayment assistance. You know, in the state of Maryland, our loan repayment assistance program, which we affectionately call LARP, has several facets of it and allows for folks to be able to take advantage of that tuition assistance for the repayments. We have here joining us today representatives from Anne Arundel County Public Schools. We also have representatives from the Teachers Association of Anne Arundel County as well. And I will defer to them as well for any answers to questions, as I think they have a little bit more expertise in the technical parts of the bill.
Do any of your witnesses want to be heard on this bill, or are you here just for questions?
They have prepared written and oral testimony, Madam Chair.
Perfect. If you want to go, we will go ahead and turn it over to your witnesses. Who would you like to start?
I believe we have Grace from Anne Arundel County Public Schools, and she'll be the first witness.
Good morning, Chair Bagnall, Vice Chair Jones, and members of the Anne Arundel County House Delegation. I'm Grace Wilson, Legislative and Policy Specialist for Anne Arundel County Public Schools. AACPS supports House Bill 541, which would authorize the Anne Arundel County Council to establish the Anne Arundel County Student Loan Assistance Program for educators. The purpose of this program is to attract, recruit, and retain a diverse cadre of qualified educators in AACPS reflective of the student population within the county. The program will provide a mechanism for educators employed by AACPS to receive student loan repayment assistance if funded by the Anne Arundel County Council. We're proud of our teacher workforce and value them as a critical asset in contributing to student academic achievement. We believe that the quality of education is directly dependent on the quality of our teacher workforce, which is directly impacted by the school system's ability to recruit and retain high-quality educators. AACPS supports additional resources to help recruit a more diverse teacher workforce reflective of the student population we serve. Accordingly, we respectfully request a favorable delegation report on House Bill 541. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, we have a representative as well from TAC.
Good morning. So overall, the Teachers Association of Anne Arundel County is favorable towards the student loan assistance bill, the teacher loan assistance bill. Overall, because of our process, we do not have a formal position in as the moment because our representative assembly is not until February 14th. However, at that time, this bill will be presented, and it is our firm belief that because of the amendments that have been added, that this will be a favorable bill for us. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I believe that is the panel.
All right. Thank you very much, Delegate Henson. Thank you to your panel. Do we have any questions from the members?
I have one quick question. The amendments, Delegate Henson, do you anticipate we will have a chance to look at them before the vote session on the bill?
Yes, I know we want to pass it in the identical posture out of the Senate and the House. So we've worked to make sure those amendments are generated collaboratively, and we will circulate them to the members of the House delegation.
Okay, so have the amendments already been, are they in the Senate bill? So could we look there? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I know that
Oh.
both offices are working to make sure we have mirror amendments so that they stay in the posture of being cross-filed, but I don't know if the Senate has gotten theirs back yet.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the members? Seeing none, this concludes the bill hearing on House Bill 541. Now we're going to turn to House Bill 881. On your agenda, it was LR 3068. It has been assigned a bill number. So then this is the Anne Arundel County Public Schools Innovative Scheduling Pilot Program. And Delegate Henson, once again, if you would like to introduce the bill and your panel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill is another opportunity to work with the esteemed senator from District 33 as well. With this bill, it would give the opportunity for Anne Arundel County Public Schools to participate in a pilot program that would allow them to have flexibility with scheduling for the school year. This is a bill, I believe it's the second year it's been introduced. I think the first year, my colleague from District 30A introduced the bill. And then since then, it's been tailored down to a pilot program specific to Anne Arundel County only. And it has made some changes from last year, and it's now garnered the support of our teachers union, of course, Anne Arundel County Public Schools. And then you also have a representative from our county executive's office, Ethan Hunt, who's here to testify in support of the bill as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Henson. Do we want to start with the county executive's office? Mr. Hunt, if you want to go ahead and unmute.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, can you jump to the next witness?
Oh.
Thanks.
Certainly. I apologize, Delegate Henson. Would you prefer TAC or
With Grace with Arundel County Public Schools?
Okay.
All right, I think we're ready. Good morning. Good morning, Chair Bagnell, Vice Chair Jones, and members of the delegation. It is an honor to be here today to talk to you about this House Bill 881. Thank you, Delegate Henson and Senator Giles for sponsoring legislation on our behalf. As you all know, the blueprint is calling for us to invigorate public school education in Maryland, and in particular is calling for us to innovate. I've said this over the first 18 months of being here. We cannot do things the way that we've always done them. and expect different results. That's why I requested this legislation that would remove the legal constraint on school scheduling and will allow AACPS to explore innovative school scheduling models that have been proven to improve morale and achievement for students and staff. Those may include, as an example, 4-day school week for students who meet requirements to be deemed college and career ready, the CCR, College and Career Readiness Indicators. What's important for everybody to hear me on is we are not seeking to move to a 4-day school week for our entire system. We are just requesting flexibility under the law to begin to discuss alternative schedules that we think have potential to better serve our students, staff, and families. In addition to pursuing innovative school scheduling models, this bill will allow for us to eliminate or greatly reduce something most families dislike greatly about our school calendar, those 12 early dismissal days. Early dismissal days are currently used in an effort to meet the minimum 180-day requirement in existing law, but with calendar flexibility, we could explore ways to remove some or all of our early dismissal days from our calendar. Our students, staff, and families will greatly benefit from increasing full days of instruction and reducing these partial days. The possibilities of this legislation are endless. We are just requesting the legal authority to begin exploring scheduling models that could better meet the needs of students, staff, and families. Please know this, that no matter what you have, my word, you have my word that we will actively engage our students, families, staff, other stakeholders on any innovative scheduling pilot programs we pursue. That includes collaborating with all 4 of the bargaining units that we currently work with. And so with that being said, nothing will be done without us having collaboration and buy-in. I respectfully request a favorable delegation report on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Superintendent. And Delegate Henson, I want to turn it to you to call your next panelist because I don't want to mess up your order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think Ethan Hunt from the County Executive's Office is prepared.
Sorry, I'm still looking for my testimony.
That's okay. I think we have our representative from TAC, Ms. Disney Bates.
Good morning again. So as I stated before, due to the way that our association runs, we do not have a formal position on this bill and will not have one until February 14th. We have been working with AACPS throughout the last months on the language of this bill. And overall, we have discovered our members, the teachers, are favorable towards this bill. There are still some lagging concerns about permissive versus mandatory subjects of bargaining, but we do appreciate Dr. Bedell's interest in revamping school schedules to meet the needs of Blueprint and our students, and we're very excited to begin this process. We appreciate Dr. Bedell and AACPS for taking our amendments. And so that is about it for us. We're looking forward to our Rep Assembly making a final decision on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bates. And Madam Chair, I believe Ethan Hunt is the only remaining witness. Are you prepared, Ethan?
Sorry, I'll following up on what Dr. Bedell said. I know the county executive has talked about this with many members of the delegation. We're very supportive of this.
Perfect. And I think that's the panel, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Delegate Henson. And I see a hand from Delegate Chisholm.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question's more technical. So on the floor system, HB 881's not there. I mean, it shows, but there's no actual bill, and there's not one in the public system. If somebody can just send me the bill,
We'll make sure to circulate it to the delegation. Thank you. Thank you,
I
Delegate
definitely
Chisholm.
talked to Dr. Bedell about this. I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's great innovation, but I just definitely want to see the actual bill if I could. So thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions from the members? Seeing none, this concludes the bill hearing on House Bill 881. And I'm looking to see if our guests are here yet. It doesn't appear so. So I'm going to jump around in the agenda just a little bit. As a reminder, next week we will be voting on bills. We do also have additional hearings on county bills, and we will be welcoming Gavin Buckley, Mayor of Annapolis, Dr. Ricky Nelson Jones, and the Anne Arundel County chapter of the NAACP. And we'll have an update from Ricky Nelson with the BWI Airport. If you have a local bill and you are not on the schedule, please contact Secretary Massey today. We want you to be good stewards of your bills, and clearly we are happy to accommodate because we want to make sure that that we're getting your bills before the delegation and and across the chamber. Organizations who wish to be acknowledged can email our delegation secretary at aacd@mlis.state.md.us. That's aacd@mlis.state.md.us. I also wanted to open it up to Delegate Pruski, who's got a couple of announcements for us as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair and colleagues. I want to announce District 33 night, and certainly all of you are welcome. That is going to be on Monday, February 12th from 6 to 7:30 at Red Wine Bar, 189 B Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. Again, on behalf of my colleagues, Senator Guile, Delegate Bagnell, Delegate Schmidt, we are doing that District 33 night, so we're hoping to have certainly not only constituents, but to have you there. And then the other announcement, just in addition, as a member of the alcohol subcommittee, if any of you have any alcohol bills on the House side, could you please let Delegate Rogers and myself know? My understanding is that there's a few in the Senate, but there's nothing in the House. But if you do, let us know so we can kind of plan a meeting and review. But thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate the opportunity for the announcements.
Thank you very much, Delegate Pruski. And I saw that we have just been joined by our next guest, which is Katrina Hopkins and our Anne Arundel County Department of Human Services. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Chairwoman? I just signed in early. I'm waiting for the rest of our executive team to sign in. Our Director, Rachel McConaughey, will be speaking and giving a brief overview of our agency and introducing the rest of the executive team.
Well, thank you so much. And I do see Ms. McConaughey here in our meeting. So welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting us and having us this morning.
Absolutely. Would you like to introduce your team?
Sure. My whole team is not with me quite yet. We were going to join at 9 and I hopped on a little early. But certainly, so my name is Rachel McConaughey, and I'm the director at the Anne Arundel County Department of Social Services. On my team with me, I have Katrina Hopkins, who is our customer advocate. I know that you guys were familiar with Kenitra White, who was our former director. So maybe I'll just tell you maybe 1 minute about myself. I am a lifelong Anne Arundel County resident, and I've worked here at the Anne Arundel County Department of Social Services for 25 years. So Anne Arundel County is very near and dear to my heart. It's where I live. It's where my children live and go to school. Where I grew up. So the Anne Arundel County Department of Social Services, our mission is really to assist our county residents in achieving and maintaining, self-sufficiency when it comes to, economics, as well as, protection of children and vulnerable adults. We have about 350 employees, and folks are working hard at the Department of Social Services. In fiscal year 25, in our Family Investment Administration, that's probably our largest serving administration. We served over 37,000 families through our Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, our Temporary Cash Assistance Program, some call it TCA, our Temporary Disability Assistance Program, TDAP, and Emergency Assistance to families with children. In our child welfare side, our Child Protective Services, CPS, and family preservation services, we served well over 2,600 families and children in helping them and making sure that children remained safely with their families and with their relatives. We only have about 115 children in foster care in Anne Arundel County. We have one of the lowest numbers across the state for children in foster care. And that's because we work very hard on prevention, on the preventive side through our Family Investment Administration, as well as through our Child Protective Services and in-home services. About 98% of the families and children that we serve in family preservation, they remain safely at home with their families, as we believe strongly that children belong with their families and they do best with their families. Of those, we had about 120 children in foster care last fiscal year. Only 18 children were placed new in that year, and 43 exited foster care. That means they left foster care. 34 of those children left to permanency. Permanency looks like reunification with your biological family, maybe with your parents or with your relatives. We had 7 children who achieved permanency with custody and guardianship to a relative, and 6 children who were adopted. We also have, at our West Street office location, we have a family support center where we provide a variety of services. We have we call it the Young Fathers Program, but it's really for any non-custodial parents. We served about 130 non-custodial parents, and in serving them, we helped them with obtaining jobs, achieving self-sufficiency, and was able to collect $272,000 in child support, and helping them with training and employment. Our Family Support Center really focuses on families with children under the age of 5, and we were able to serve 62 families and 78 children. We also here in Anne Arundel County, which not every county has, we have a community outreach team in which we have a beautiful relationship with our libraries, as well as some of our community centers, where we have social workers, as well as family investment workers that are out in the community so that folks can stop by if they need to apply for benefits, ask questions, be linked with resources. And we served over 3,000 individuals and families in those libraries and community centers. We do hope to expand this year and be available in more communities. In fact, in January, mid-January, we have 2 family investment workers that are at the Severn Community Center 2 days a week. So we're really excited about that. We also have a community initiatives division where we really try to work with folks that are experiencing homelessness and helping them to obtain permanent housing, some case management services, maybe helping them with IDs, some job readiness, linking them to resources. And so last fiscal year, we helped about 28 folks who were experiencing homelessness obtain permanent housing. And we're able to serve 133 people through the housing case management system. We also have a partnership. Anne Arundel County is really blessed that we have a lot of folks who want to serve and want to help others. And so we have our back to school program, as well as our holiday sharing program, where we've helped around 2,500 families through the holiday sharing. So those were kind of like some basics and snippets of what we do. Does anyone have any questions that maybe we might be able to answer?
Thank you so much. I'm going to open it up to the members. See if we have.
And I see that some more of my team members have joined. Ardenia Holland, who is our public information officer. And I see that Edith Harrison, who is our Deputy Director of the Family Investment Administration, is connected to audio. I think I saw a hand.
Yes, I'm Senator Beidel.
Good morning, Senator Beidel.
Good morning. I just want to thank you for all the really great work you're doing, but particularly for coming to the Severance Center with your services, because it's a long trip to Annapolis, particularly for people who do not have transportation. And I just think you're doing a lot of really good initiatives to reach out to people. And I just want to thank you for your work, Rachel.
Thank you. And thank you for your support. I've watched as you've sat on local interagency coordinating councils and lots of good initiatives in the county over the years. So thank you. And we can certainly have, so our customer advocate, Katrina Hopkins, will follow up in sending you some flyers that will share with you the locations where we are out in the community centers and the libraries, as well as a little bit about like our emergency assistance to families, because I know that times are tough. Folks have trouble paying their utility bills, you know, all sorts of things happen. Life happens, right? And so those resources that she'll share with you, please feel free to share them with your constituents, with each other. And if you have, you know, ever have constituent issues, please be sure to email our customer advocate and she will do her best to connect with them. And you feel free to CC me if you'd like to. More than happy to be a part of that, but our customer advocate is our go-to.
Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for all the great work that you do and for being such a great partner. We really are committed to working, you know, at local, state, and federal levels to try and deliver for our constituents, and we really appreciate the partnership that we have with you.
We appreciate your partnership and all that you do. I know that the legislative season, I can only imagine what it's like trying to get everything done in the world in 90 days. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today. And speaking of local, state, and federal partnerships, our next speaker is Congressman John Sarbanes. He's our representative from Congressional District 3. He's been in Congress since 2007. He's a member of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, chair of the Democracy Reform Task Force, and has been a champion for healthcare, education, and the environment, including efforts to protect our Chesapeake Bay, and with his Senate partner, Senator Chris Van Hollen, to create the Chesapeake National Recreation Area. Welcome, Congressman Sarbanes. Thank you so much. And you know, we've been jumping around the schedule today, so I really appreciate you joining us today.
Well, thank you very much, Delegate Bagnell, and to the entire delegation there. Appreciate the work that you're doing every single day on behalf of Anne Arundel County, but really on behalf of our entire state. I know you have significant challenges there this session with the budget. We've got some challenges in Washington with our budget efforts. I'll speak to those in a moment, but the delegation, I know as a whole, works very, very hard in conjunction with all the elected officials from the county, certainly beginning with the county executive, Stuart Pittman. And I know that the collective focus on issues relating to public safety, to childcare, certainly addressing mental health challenges that we see, frankly, all across the country. The commitment to the Chesapeake Bay, which was just a reference coming out of Anne Arundel County, obviously kind of helps lead our state in terms of that stewardship around this important national treasure. We are collectively working to uplift the Annapolis City Dock. I know that's a priority for many in your delegation. Workforce training, just so many things every single day. Let me thank Rachel for the work that she does in her office. And obviously, it's always good to get a sense of how the local impact of the collective effort, federal, state, county, and so forth, what that looks like on the ground. And she's certainly carrying her charge forward with real commitment. So I want to salute her. In terms of what I'm focused on in Washington, along with many of my colleagues, we're trying to maintain and implement and build on the significant investments we made in the 117th Congress, the Bipartisan Infrastructure and Investment Act, which obviously was bringing a lot of dollars to every jurisdiction in the country, frankly, including Anne Arundel County, when it comes to investments in our infrastructure. The Inflation Reduction Act, which is where we took a monumental step forward in addressing climate change and really getting the U.S. To be on the leading edge when it comes to clean energy technology, those investments, and frankly, all the jobs that go with them, which I think offers great opportunity for the state of Maryland and for Anne Arundel County. We know that there continue to be weaknesses. That's probably an understatement in the fabric of our democracy, and we have to work every day to try to strengthen that. And Maryland can be part of the vanguard that puts that issue front and center. I really think in terms of fighting two scourges, one is voter suppression and the impulse that we see around that across the country, and also big money corruption. And when I say that, what I mean is what pretty much every American feels, regardless of their political affiliation, which is that big money, dark money, special interests, lobbyists, insiders, behind the curtain types, however you want to phrase it, have way too much influence over how policy gets made in this country. And I think there's a view that in Washington, that's particularly intense as an influence. And that's a fair call. And we've got to push back against that. We've got to show that we're lifting up people's ability to get to the ballot box without that being an obstacle course that they have to run every couple of years. And there's certainly things we can do nationally to strengthen that. That's why I continue to lead on HR 1, the Freedom to Vote Act, John R. Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. But also, how do we insist on more disclosure when it comes to how money flows through our politics and into the way we govern? Because that's the only way you're going to get the average person out there to have restored faith in the idea that their voice matters, their vote matters, and that they matter. Right now, we're trying, as you know, to avoid disastrous government shutdowns. We've got two deadlines coming at us. One is on March 1st. The other is on March 8th. The first being one package of the appropriation bills that we need to pass. The 8th being the other set of appropriation bills. I've got my fingers crossed. We will see what the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is able to achieve, what he's willing to bring to the floor, in spite, frankly, of real sort of resistance / mutiny inside his own caucus. And we've seen that movie before. We saw it last year with Kevin McCarthy. But hopefully we can get a resolution on some of these budget negotiations, get those bills passed, get the 2024 budget locked in, because we know that's critically important for people out there in the country, for every jurisdiction, which is looking to the federal government for important funding streams. And we don't want there to be chaos, the chaos that comes with government shutdowns, which, by the way, we know has disproportionate impact in places like Maryland, because we are very tied, and certainly Anne Arundel County is very tied to the federal government, to the federal workforce, to the federal contracting space, and so forth. So we want to make sure that we are performing our responsibilities there. The other sort of couple of big things that we are looking at right now, in addition to getting the budget landed, as you know, there's ongoing negotiations around continuing assistance to Ukraine, bringing assistance to Israel in this current challenge that's being faced, and also addressing challenges at the border. And that's all been put together into one piece of legislation that's being negotiated quite fiercely on the Senate side. Whether it passes on the Senate, we'll probably know next week, because Leader Schumer is going to bring it to the floor for a vote. Whether, if it passes, the current House Speaker, Mike Johnson, will actually put it on the floor on the House side remains to be seen. So there's very much a question mark when it comes to that legislation. My own view is supporting Ukraine in this moment is absolutely critical. I don't know that Americans appreciate how much Ukraine is fighting for our interests in this war with Russia. And frankly, the cost to us of supporting them is much less than the cost we would incur if Russia ends up routing Ukraine, winning that war, and then being sort of right there on the European doorstep. And I think that's the perspective that we need to bring as we consider these investments there. We did just pass a tax bill, which was a combination of extending the child tax credit and increasing some of the amounts there. It will make a difference for 15 million children across the country, helping to lift them out of poverty and otherwise support those families. So that was an important thing. In addition, increasing the low-income housing tax credit. So we can get you more information about how that is going to flow into jurisdictions like Anne Arundel County. The bargain for that was some extension of business tax credits. That's why this was a bipartisan bill. And in particular, maintaining immediate deductions of certain R&D expenses for businesses, again, which has implications for Anne Arundel County. So we can get you more information about that. Just a couple of quick last things, then happy to take any questions. We were gratified. It was mentioned that Senator Van Hollen and I have been working closely on the Chesapeake National Recreation Area. We want to continue to push that opportunity forward because we think that can make a big difference for the state of Maryland and frankly, for the country in terms of pointing people to these important sites, historic, cultural locations, but also ones that represent our commitment to the Chesapeake Bay. I also work with Senator Van Hollen and the rest of our delegation to focus on Greenberry Point, make sure that we are maintaining the conservation area commitment that exists there relative to the Navy. And I think we made some good progress there. And so that doesn't seem to be a moving target anymore, but we'll certainly keep our eyes on it. Last thing very quickly, we did put in some requests for community project funding for certain things in the county. To be very candid, that's very much up in the air with these budget negotiations, so not sure yet where that will land. But that included things like supporting the Real-Time Crime Center, which I know is an important proposal there in the county, supporting lead service line replacement, dollars to flow to the transit operations facility, which we know you want to get stood up there in the county, supporting this overall investment in the Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park, in particular with some trails and other things that we're interested in. The Glen Burnie Town Center Plaza revitalization is an important priority. We're hoping maybe we can secure some funds for that. And then I mentioned the Annapolis City Dock revitalization. Those are dollars that would flow into the city of Annapolis, but obviously have clear benefit for the county. So those are some examples of things that we've got our fingers crossed that we can help the county with, help Annapolis with. But let me close again by just thanking you for the amazing work that you're doing. I know that you face some very difficult constraints in this budget year, and tough choices are going to have to be made, just as we're making some tough choices in Washington right now. But we've been there before. We'll get through it. We'll get to the other side. Anne Arundel County and Maryland will remain, I think, very strong. So thank you for your good work, and I will yield back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman. And I have a hand from Delegate Chisholm.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your service, Congressman Sarbanes. I do have a question for you because I know you sit on the Energy Committee. We have a power plant here in my district that I'm sure you're aware of, Brandon Shores and Wagner plant, that I've been working on a bill to help to at least slow down. Right now, here's what I understand, that Talon Energy bought these plants from Constellation. Talon Energy entered into an agreement with the Sierra Club saying we're going to shut this down to subvert further litigation throughout the country with other things that the Talon Club or that Talon owns. I'm in communication with PJM, who obviously oversees the grid of 13 different states. I'm in communication with the PSC. I'm in communication with BG&E. The problem we're facing is they're going to shut this down in 2025, June of 2025, as of right now. The only way that we have the ability to substitute the loss of that energy is to bring it down from Pennsylvania with some nuclear energy that they're producing. The problem with that is that it's not going to be done until 2028. And I have found a lot of bipartisan support on this. People are very concerned that we're going to have rolling blackouts. We're going to see electrical rates go through the roof because that energy has to be produced somewhere. And I'm appealing to you because at this point, I have calls lined up all today to try to at least slow this down because, as you know, when our utility rates skyrocket, it's the poorest among us, the most vulnerable, who get hurt the worst fast. We have people on medical equipment that needs that electric to run, and I know we have different things in place that reliability must be made whole. But it's like everybody's coming to me and saying their hands are tied. And when we shut down this power plant, that affects 1 million homes in Maryland, not just in my district, but 1 million homes are going to see significant increases in their utility rates. And that goes on the ratepayers. And on top of that, and I don't want to get into a big climate change conversation, but it's not the time or place. My concern is for my constituents and the Marylanders that are going to have the real effect of this. I know a lot of my colleagues are already hearing from some constituents saying, hey, my utility rates just went up $100. I'm being told by BG&E, and they're just a distributor, I understand that we could be looking at electric bills doubling, possibly tripling in the future, because we have this big gap of that 3 years where we could be facing, a reliability on our power grid, being able to deliver that electric to our homes of the people that need it, all of us, but most importantly, the most vulnerable. So I'm very concerned about this, and
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, thank you for bringing it up. I mean, you're articulating an anxiety that we see in other places across the country, and we do hear about this in some of the hearings that we're holding on how you retire some of these legacy plants, but make sure you can hop onto the next ice flow, which is, where the new energy source is coming from, and that there's no gaps there, particularly gaps that can produce the kind of price shock that you're concerned about. So let me look into that a little bit more. Let me investigate with other members of the delegation who also would have some jurisdiction just geographically with respect to that. You're right, I sit on the committee that grapples with these issues, so I do bring a little bit of extra perspective and insight into it. I've got one of my staff people is on the phone today, so we're taking notes, and we'll circle back to you with some perspective.
Thank you very much. And I'll have my office send your office all the information I have currently. Just
okay, appreciate that.
Details. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. I saw a hand from Delegate Pena-Melnick.
I actually lower it, but I just want to say to the congressman, it's been such an honor to serve with you, and you will be missed. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks very much, Jocelyn. I appreciate that. I didn't allude to the fact that this is my last go round as a member of Congress. So let me just say that 18 years when I finish. It's been 18 years the entire time representing Anne Arundel County, and among other jurisdictions. And in some ways, that's been the anchor county for me when you look at the various redistrictings that I've been through. And I'm so gratified by that, because the relationships that I've been able to build with people like yourselves, elected officials, but also the amazing community leaders that together we serve, has been so rewarding to me. And frankly equips me well to continue to try to go do good things in whatever my next chapter will be. So thank you for the opportunity to serve collectively with all of you on behalf of the constituents that we represent.
Thank you, Congressman. And I had a hand from Senator Beidle. Madam Chair, you're on mute.
You think I'd learn by now? Thank you, Madam Chair. And Congressman Sarbanes, thank you for all your service. I have to second what Delegate Peña-Melnick said. You have been amazing to work with. You've been my congressman for 18 years. And not only you, but your staff with Bridget, you've been very present in Anne Arundel County and in our district, and you will be missed. And I wish you well in your next endeavor. I'm excited to see what you're going to do next. But thank you for your service.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Congressman. I did want to also thank all of our speakers today for your flexibility as we were shifting the schedules around and trying to accommodate everyone. I had a hand from Ardinia Holland at the Department of Social Services.
Yes, I don't want to age us, but I also, as a constituent, want to thank Senator Sarbanes for his service. And like I said, I don't want to age you, but we were counselors together at Gilman's Upward Bound program.
Oh my goodness.
So that's kind of where we started our work careers. So it has just been a joy to watch you over the years, and know that we knew each other. We tried to mold youth together through those programs, and just wish you much success in the future.
Thank you so much for raising your hand there. I'm delighted to see you again. And that was a very formative experience for me, working with those young people in Baltimore and trying to lift them up and get them on a good career path. We had a great team. And I think we did make a difference, and I'm glad to see the work that you're doing. So all the best. It's wonderful to see you.
Well, I just want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues. It has been it has been a great joy working with you. We really appreciate how, as a freshman in 2019 going into a pandemic in 2020, we really appreciated the partnership and mentorship of all of our federal partners. So and we know you're not leaving yet.
I was just going to say that. I wanted to make sure you knew.
You're leaving the meeting. So we just wanted to say thank you again for your partnership, and we look forward to continuing to work with you through your term and then into the next iteration of your career. I'm certain that we will continue to partner.
Thank you very much, Delegate Bagnell. Thanks to all of you, and have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you to all of our delegation and again, our guests for your flexibility with our changing agenda today. We have 67 days remaining. So to our members, make sure you are checking your email because things are going to get busier. And we're just going to have to be a little bit flexible to make sure that we're accommodating everyone as best we can. As a reminder, make sure if you have outstanding questions about any of the bills that we've had, that we've heard, that you do connect with the bill sponsors. When I say be good stewards of your bills, also be good stewards of your vote. Get your questions answered so that when we get to the voting session, you feel fully informed and ready for the meeting. Do we have any other announcements from our members? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Thank you so much. We are adjourned. We are pro forma today, so I will not see you all on the floor, though I will see some of you in our voting session in Health and Government Operations. Have a great weekend, everyone.